Hello and welcome to Animal Reserve Challenge 6. Hey, this is an on your own problem. So you should have solved the entire problem on your own, and now you're watching this video just to make sure you did everything correctly. Without further ado, let us move on to our scenario. You are trying to protect a family of beavers. They live in this lake right here. That is beautiful. Look at that mountain over there. Nice scenery. Their home is in the Polygon area shown below. In order to protect this animal reserve, you must solve for the area of their home. See the measurements below and how many square miles are in this animal reserve. So as you see, we've got a rectangular shape down here. And then up on top of that, there's another triangular shape that's added in. Now we know the distance of this from the bottom here to the top up here is 9.5 miles. We know the distance from this point to here is 6.5 miles. We know the distance of the bottom base right here is 12 miles all the way across there. And then from this bottom to this here is 7.5 miles. Now, what we don't know is how far this section for the base of this triangle is. We don't know how far that is. We'll need to solve for that. And then we know that the whole distance is from here all the way to here is 9.5, but we need to, in order to solve for this triangular area, we need to figure out how far it is from the base of the triangle to the tip of it right here. And we'll do that right now, my friends. Alrighty, and the very first one I'm going to start with is the base of this triangle right here, because I need to know how far that is. So let's go ahead and figure that out. If I take 12 here, now let's actually do something here. If I make a little rectangular shape that covers all of that, right? So now if you look here, I'm going to try and cover it pretty close, okay? All right, so if you look here, if I have the full triangular shape, and then if I shrink it, you can see that I'm taking the 12, which is the entire distance across here, right? And then if I take that and if I shrink it, I'm subtracting this section here, the 6.5 from it, right? So 12 minus 6.5 would give me this section here, right here, and that's going to be 5.5 miles. So let's go ahead and enlarge that, and we're going to write in there 5.5 miles. And that's going to be for the bottom or the base of my triangle. Superb, my friends. All right, so let's shrink this, and now we've got to think about the top section here, going from here all the way up to here. So once again, if I have this going all the way up, right? But if I take this section here, and I'm going to use the green again, and as you see, whoops, I need to make this a little smaller. As you see, if I've got this green all the way over here, this section right here is 7.5, right? So if I do this side over here is 7.5. That means this section here is also 7.5. Let me show you why that works. Because see, that line is the same distance, right? So here it's 7.5 miles. So that means over here, this also is 7.5 from here to here, right? Which means I can take the 9.5 and subtract the 7.5 here, and I'm going to end up with this section from here to here being exactly 2 miles. So let's go ahead and write that in right over here, and I'll go 2 miles. Okay, bam. All right, so now I have my section for the height here. Oops, I gotta grab my pointer. My height is 2 miles, and my base is 5.5 miles. So now I can solve for this triangular area. I'm going to get rid of this green because I no longer need that. So let's just get rid of that. And now I'm going to shrink this again. And now we can start doing our area, solving for our area. So the first thing I'm going to do is this triangular area. And the triangular area is, let's just write this up here. I'm going to make this here. And I'm going to write right in the sky, A equals base times height divided by 2, right? And then if I'm going to bring this over, next would be A equals, and my base, as we see here, is 5.5, right? And my height is 2. So let's go ahead and plug those in. So now my base is 5.5 and times the height of 2. And then that all gets divided by 2 because I'm just following that formula. And let me just show you once again. So the base is 5.5. So I plug that in. The height is 2 miles from here to here, which we solved over here. So I plug that in, and then I'm going to divide the whole thing by 2, right? So now let's go ahead and just solve the way we would do this. And we're going to take the 5.5 and multiply it by 2, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add another arrow going here, and A equals, and now if I take 5.5 and multiply it by 2, actually, let's do the work up here, and we go. 2 times 5 will give us 10, so I'm going to drop my 0 and carry my 1. I'm going to hold the 1 in my brain, and then 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 1 in my brain would give me 11. So I'll drop an 11 here, and then right here I've got 1 loop-a-doop for that decimal. So I go 1 loop-a-doop here, my decimal goes here, so I would get 11. So let's go ahead and write the 11, and then that would be over 2, right? Now, fractions can be thought of in 3 ways: 11 halves, 11 out of 2, or in this case, 11 divided by 2. And if I take 11 and divide it by 2, my answer is going to be A equals 5.5. And I'm running out of room here. And I actually rewrote this so it would be a little the same size as this stuff. So your answer is 5.5 miles square. Now, I do want to talk about something here, because when you have fractions here and you've got a 2 on top and a 2 on the bottom, you can actually cancel those 2 out and have your answer right away of 5.5. And that's, as you see, what we got. But by doing it this way, you get 5.5 times 2 gives you 11. And then when you divide it by 2, you get 5.5. So either way, your area for the triangle is 5.5 miles squared. So let's come back here, and we're going to plug that in right here. And let me do this in white so it shows up a little bit better. 5.5, and that's miles squared for the triangle area right here. Superb, my friends. Now, all we have to do is solve for the area of this big old rectangle at the bottom, right? And we're going to start off with the same formula we always do for a rectangle. And the area of a rectangle can be solved with A equals the base times the height. And my base is 12, so we'll go ahead and write A equals 12. And we're multiplying that by the 7.5. So let's go ahead and write 7.5 right there. I'm going to do my math over here, and I'll do it in red. And we've got 12 times 7.5. Alrighty, and I realized that the red wasn't showing up very well, so I did it in black. And here we go. 5 times 2 is going to give you 10. Drop your 0, carry your 1. 5 times 1 is going to give you 5. Plus the 1 is going to give you 6. Drop your 6. And then come down here, drop a 0, and put an X in it. Because this 7 needs to hold the place value for the 7, which is over here in the ones column, not the tenths column, right? And here we go. 7 times 2 is going to give you 14. I'm going to drop my 4, carry my 1. I got to circle that one because I already used it. And then I've got 7 times 1, which is 7, plus 1 is 8. So I'm going to drop my 8 right there. And then I get to add these two bad boys together. I get 0 and 0 is 0. 6 and 4 is 0. Carry the 1, and 8 and 1 is 9. Then I've got up here, I've got 1 loop-a-doop here. So I go 1 loop-a-doop here, and my decimal goes right there. And 90 miles squared is your answer. So let's go ahead and write that in white. And here we go. A equals 90 miles squared. Perfect, my friends. And now all we have to do is our final tally, right? So I'm going to take the 5.5 and add it to the 90. And I'm going to get a total of whoops, I got to write that in black. I had it in white, and I wrote on the white. 95.5 miles, and that is squared. And that right there, my friends, is your answer, and you must love it because it is the truth. Perfect. Hey, that is how much area your family of beavers have in this animal reserve right here, and I hope you love it. Hey, if you made a mistake anywhere along the way, no worries at all, my friend. Pause that video, fix that mistake. That is your fastest way to learn. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon.